G'day guys, kia ora, goeiedag, my name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show, and yes, I am so sorry for crashing the stock market. I jinxed it so bad last night. I said it was turning around, and then like an hour later, it just went down a cliff. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Really painful for me as well. But just remember, guys, just remember, unrealized losses are not real. Not real until you sell it. Just hodl it till end of times, and hopefully it comes back at some point. But hey, look, could be worse. Could be a weekend where there's no rugby. At least we got some amazing rugby ahead of us this weekend. First and foremost, we've got the reigning, the defending, the undisputed world champions, the mighty Springboks. Will be heading off to a play against the arch rivals, against the team that's the kryptonite of Rassie Erasmus' coaching career so far, and that is the mighty Irish at Lansdowne Road. Boy, this will be tough. This is going to be potentially a bit of wet weather as well, and yeah, with the questionable referee, nobody knows how this is going to go. But hey, first and foremost, let's have a look at this record between the two sides. So yeah, under the tutelage of Rassie Erasmus, the Springboks actually has a pretty poor record against the Irish. So 4-1 for Rassie, and only the one game that won is at home at South Africa, and also losing in South Africa as well at home was not a good feeling. So Rassie has completely come out of this one, really stacked everything that they've been working for over the last year or so, has put all the pieces, the best part together, culminating into this team that I think, boy, this could be the make or break for the Springboks. This could be the future team that's going to go on to win the Rugby World Cup. All this is, an alarm clock will be going off for Rassie Erasmus to go back to the drawing board and come out with something completely different. Build something completely different towards the Rugby World Cup in the upcoming couple of years. So yeah, this is a really crucial time for the Springboks, and also really crucial time for the Ireland as well. The 10 jersey is still a big question mark. Shoes too big to fill, left over by Johnny Sexton. And once again, Sam Prendergast is going to get another opportunity to prove his worth after an outstanding performance against the Wallabies. But hey, the Springboks definitely not gonna, give Sam Prendergast an easy pass like the Wallabies did last week. We have to wait and see. But overall, yeah, Rassie hasn't had a good run against the Irish. It is a bit of a kryptonite team against the Springboks. But yeah, it's gonna be super exciting regardless of who comes out ahead. The referee, like I already mentioned, Matthew Carley last week between Wales and Japan, I thought was pretty ordinary, to be honest. Josh Adams should have been a straight red card. Literally took a chip shot to someone on the ground, and Carly gave him a 20-minute red card, and there was a few, hits. I think there was a yellow card against a Japan player. There was actually a few yellow cards that was given out. It was a bit trigger happy there, where I felt like it wasn't really dangerous enough to reach the threshold for yellow cards. So yeah, we'll have to see. It's going to be a 50-50. Hopefully he doesn't give out like a full red card send-off this game. And hopefully, he's consistent. It's probably all we can hope for this weekend. But yeah, Matthew Carley will be the referee this weekend. The weather is going to be also a bit rainy, a bit wet in Saturday, and quite cold as well. So yeah, cold, wet weather in Ireland for a game of rugby is just what we want to see. So yeah, in terms of the recent results, the Springboks has a bit of a build up to, has been, shuffling their players around a little bit and going back and forth between their traditional kicking style and the new age style of attacking game out of Sasha Fenberg and Gomezulu. And they have been very, very successful transitioning into the newer style, especially after they lost to the All Blacks at Eden Park with that traditional style. They've just really been building towards that attacking ability. Tony Ball, some of you guys might play it. In the form of Sasha Fenberg and Gomezulu. So they have been really building from strength to strength, and coming into this game, especially against the French a couple of weeks ago, one play in the bin, still blew the French away, 32 points to 17 in France as well, in Paris. The Irish, on the other hand, bit 50-50. Neither of the Irish 10s made it to the Lions tour. And yeah, Sam Prendergast looked amazing, not under pressure, but defensively has been criticized. And Ireland definitely had an opportunity to win the Six Nations, but yeah, slipped against French and really let themselves down a little bit, especially some of the bonus points. They missed out, just not quite clinical enough to get themselves across the line. But then again, against New Zealand as well, felt like maybe jet lag was in play. But yeah, still, again, definitely in a transition period for the Irish team. Great performance against the Wallabies last week, but Wallabies hasn't really performed for quite some time now. So Ireland really, the real test is this weekend against the Springboks, probably the biggest test for them in the entire calendar year. So yeah, let's have a look at the men who will be given the privilege and pleasure to represent their respective nations for this monumental occasion of a rugby match. Coming in the front rowers, the Ireland has brought back that foundation of their scrum in their best possible front rowers, that's available for them. Andrew Porter coming in number 1, Dan Sheehan number 2, and Ty Furlong comes in number 3. I felt like Andrew Porter could be the number 1 ranked loose prop in the world. A lot of you guys saying it's Ox Enche, but I do think that Andrew Porter is a little bit better around the park in terms of carrying the ball, and Ox Enche obviously gets taken off earlier than Andrew Porter as well. But hey, Enche is not available for the Springboks. He's injured. We've got Buon, the Fat Thor Fenter comes in at number 1. We've got Malcolm Marks coming in number 2, and Thomas Dutoy, again, a newer guy here, coming in at number 3 for the Springboks. It's basically the old Bulls against the new Bulls from the Springboks in the front row here, and this will be absolutely huge. And the Springboks really needs to if the Springboks can win this scrummaging here, if Dutoy can neutralize Andrew Porter's angle game, this will be very, very huge and very, very promising for the Springboks going into the future. Whereas the Irish is left with a bunch of veterans that needs to be looking at potentially being replaced at some point. Coming in the locks now, James Ryan for the Irish and Ty Byrne, the super solid Thai fight the Irish team has brought out this weekend. Extremely experienced as well. For the Springboks, they have also dug into their experience in the form of Ibn Esbeth, probably the best lock ever. At least in the Springbok camp, comes in number 4. Ruan Nokia comes back in number 5. Ibn Esbeth has a bit of break as well, so he'll be just itching to play some rugby to be starting at number 4. In the loose forwards now, the breakdown, the speed is going to be another crucial battle out there on the field. We've got Ryan Baird comes in number 6. Josh van der Fleer returns to number 7 for the Irish. And finally, Caelan Doris moves to the 8 from 7 last week. And Jack Conan gets dropped out of the starting 15. For the Springboks, the veteran, the successful loose forwards is brought back. Sia Khaleesi, open side number 6. Peter Sepp Dutoy, that solid rock around the rock, comes in number 7 in the blind side. And finally, the red card headbutt machine, Jasper Visa, comes in at number 8. Coming number 9 for the Irish, Jameson Gibson Park, and it'll be interesting to see how he's going to operate with so much, of the Springbok pressure coming in under Prendergast. Is Gibson Park going to be taking over a lot of the decision making, a lot of the playmaking at number 9, and maybe some of the kicking game as well? Because if Prendergast gets put under pressure, I don't know, but Gibson Park has done a pretty good job when his 10 isn't performing. Has done a pretty good job recently in holding up the pieces together to help him out. So we'll have to see if he's going to step in for Prendergast at any point. But again, Prendergast, biggest criticism, defense. And if you give him time and space, he's going to look like an absolute superhuman. But I really think that the Springboks is really jammed the deck against him this weekend. And this will be a true test for Prendergast to put his hands up and say, hey, I've got the future of the number 10 jersey for the Ireland team, and I'm gonna take this one by the horns and really put a big show for the fans and for his coach and for the nation. So for the South Africans now, we've got Kobus Reinach coming in number 9, and Sasha Fanberg and Guma Zulu. Sasha, again, probably the best 10 I've ever seen coming into the test arena. Maybe Dan Carter is the one that has similar, impressive abilities. In some sense that Sasha might be even better than Carter with his versatility to play at 15. So yeah, probably the greatest Springbok ever to come through the ranks. Again, Prendergast is going to have a huge show in front of him. I do think that Sasha's carry game is a little bit better than Prendergast, but in terms of kicking game, I think Prendergast and Sasha is about the same. But defensively, it definitely Sasha is a little bit better than Prendergast. In fact, a lot better than Prendergast. Especially, Sasha has the ability to play at 15, and a lot of times as 15, you're the last defender, and you got to make that tackle or it's a try. So Sasha, with that ability, definitely has the advantage over Prendergast when it comes to defense there as well. So yeah, big plays for Prendergast this weekend, regardless at the 10 channel. James Lowe comes in at 10 for the Irish. Cheslin Kobe number 11 for the Irish, and Cheslin Kobe number 11 for the Springboks. Bangdi Aki gets caught up to number 12 with Robbie Henshaw dropped out of the squad altogether. I'm pretty sure, is he injured? I'm pretty sure he's not injured. But yeah, interesting that Henshaw is completely dropped. Farrell has put maybe his long-term cousin on the bench. So yeah, who knows? Bangdi Aki coming in number 12. Gary Ringrose, always outstanding, comes in number 13. For the Springboks, the Wildkard reading combination comes back at 12 and 13 with Damien Dealenda and Jesse Creel. The rush defense is just one of the it's not just good, but it has become a weapon for the Springboks to dominate the opposition, to really just push back to shut down the opposition, way behind the advantage line, and the Prendergast are really going to feel it this weekend from the 12 and the 13 in Dealenda and Jesse Creel, and Creel's going to shut out some of the wider options that Prendergast might be looking at, and just really, this is going to be a real big test for Prendergast, and I don't know, if he pulls out of this one, he'll truly become the next number 10 for the Irish. 100%. Tommy O'Brien comes in number 14 for Ireland, and Kanan Moody gets the nod ahead of Alan and Van der Merwe at number 14 for the Springbok. Gets rewarded for his outstanding performances in the last couple of weeks, albeit at 13. Mac Hansen retains the number 15 jersey for Ireland. 3 tries against the Wallabies. My goodness, it was really good. And then Damien Willems, once upon a time, the greatest Springbok in history of the Springboks, comes back at number 15. He was superhuman last week. 14 men against Italy. I thought he was the man of the match by far, diffusing a lot of the problems for the Springboks last week. Just unbelievable. So for the bench now, we've got Ron Keller, comes in number 16. Paddy McCarthy comes in number 17, and Finlay Beelum comes in number 18 for the Irish. Johan Huebler comes in number 16. Gerhard Steenekamp number 17, and Wilco Lowe number 18 for the Springboks. Number 19 for Ireland, Kian Prendergast. Jack Conan moved down to the bench, number 20 for the Springboks. We got Achia Sneeman, number 19, and Albertus Smith comes in number 20. The bomb squad set up here, and interestingly, the Springboks actually put Andre Esterhuizen at number 21 instead of number 20, which might be an indication that Esterhuizen is going to come on as a center. I don't know. Russ' mind games. But yeah, this is really interesting. So we know that Esterhuizen has been playing as a flanker for a number of games now. So he might actually just come on as a center to just apply additional pressure in that 10 channel, 10 and 12 channel against Prendergast. At some point. So we'll have to wait and see. Craig Casey comes in number 21 for the halfback for Ireland, and number 22 Jack Crowley for Irish. Grant Williams comes in number 22 for the Springboks, and finally Tom Farrell. I don't think he's related to Andy Farrell, comes in number 23, and then Manny Lebok finish off with has been outstanding coming off the bench just to spice things up, completely changing the kicking game, the speed of the game as well. Coming on at number 23. So yeah, there's a very clear theme of speed coming off the bench for the Springboks in number 22 and 23. So yeah, this is gonna be tough. I think that the Springboks really want to win this one. If the scrummaging don't get picked apart by Andrew Porter, I think the Springboks gonna be a pretty comfortable winners this one. If the scrum don't fall into any issues, and obviously a lot of it comes down to the interpretation of the referee as well. So my predictions is that the Springboks will win this one 25 points to 18. Let me know your thoughts for this first game of the week. Now, next up, we've got Wallabies versus the French. So yeah, this is again the Rugby World ranking is actually on the line for this one. So if the Wallabies beat the French by more than 16, they can actually move up to band 1 for the Rugby World Cup selections, and the France will be kicked out of top 6 and fall down to the second band. So yeah, believe it or not, the Six Nation winner could potentially fall out of the top 6 should they get a blowout win, give a blowout win to the Wallabies. It's unlikely, but it's definitely not like something that's impossible. You know, there could be a red card or something, and then suddenly the French, it loses by a big margin, and they get moved down to the second tier for the Rugby World Cup pool draw. So yeah, the referee who might be issuing that red card is Luke Pearce from England. I think he's probably the most reasonable English referee, the one that's least likely to give out red cards, and I really like the way that he referees overall, really concise as well. And then the overall performance between the two sides, obviously the French play the Wallabies. The last time the loss was the B team, but overall when the French A team showed up, the Wallabies has struggled. There was one almost win for the Wallabies by 1 point. A bit of a miracle performance there, but yeah, overall the French has been overwhelmingly dominant. There has been some criticism for Galtier as the head coach in France. I do think that it's really unfair about Galtier. He's, one of the only, he's the only international tier 1 nation that don't have access to his players in July, and he's basically have to chop and change the team constantly without any consistency. And yeah, it's gonna be tough for him to build a strategy when you don't have access to all of your players. And when you do have a strategy, it's very hard for him to assess the effectiveness of the strategy if you don't have the same players all the time to play against, different levels of the opposition. So yeah, it is a really tough position for Galtier. I think some of the criticism levied against him is a little bit unfair, to be frank. I think Galtier is one of the smartest and one of the greatest coaches of all time. And if he don't have, seriously, if Galtier has the same level of access as the Springboks, I think the French will be much, much higher in terms of performance, and probably at the same level as the Springboks right now. So the results for the French after winning the Six Nations has been pretty off, because obviously they had a B team to New Zealand, losing 3 in a row. Despite the B team, they actually put up some pretty close fights against the All Blacks, and then a nice little win against Fiji last week. But it was, again, the inconsistency, just like the Springbok game, really showed that some of the strategy just wasn't playing out for them, and the players were visibly frustrated against the Fijians. So yeah, they need to do better, and lots of that chop and change hasn't played into the favor for the French. For the Wallabies, on the other hand, just fell off a cliff, right? I mean, my goodness. Other than the Japan game, I mean, that was pretty close. Just completely falling off a cliff, especially considering that they actually made history beating the Springboks, in Johannesburg, only to just completely fall apart. There were some talks about the Wallabies, changing the 10s around, but I think, losing half of your lineouts against the Irish was definitely not the reason behind a 10, right? I think there's a lot of problem with the Wallabies internally in terms of the culture, in terms of, having the environment to encourage the players to strive to be the best version possible. Behind the scenes in Super Rugby, just not there from the Super Rugby level up, and I think that's probably that's more of the reason as to why the Wallabies isn't performing. Some of you might say, hey, the Wallabies are tired. Not really. We have a pretty short Super Rugby season compared to the French. The French play like 20-25 weeks. Even the English play over 20 weeks. And because of the Champions Cup, so the Australian teams only play about 10 weeks because everybody gets eliminated before the quarterfinals, and then to have a extended longer test period only makes up for the lack of game time at Super Rugby. So not really an excuse to say that everybody's tired as well, but it is. I think it's a culture thing internally to do with Wallabies overall. So yeah, let's have a look at the players that's going to be representing their teams this weekend. So coming number 1 for the French, Jean-Baptiste Gros. Number 2, Julien Marconde. And number 3, Regis Montagu, finishing up for the front rowers for the French. For the Wallabies, we'll get Angus Bell, 50 caps this weekend, looks like, comes in number 1. Billy Pollard coming number 2, and Tanela Tupo time will be coming up at number 3. So very, very strong setup in the front row for the Wallabies. I think the Wallabies might have a bit edge here overall over this French front row. Coming out at the locks now, we got Tabol Flamand, number 4. Emmanuel Mierfau comes in number 5. For the Wallabies, Nick Frost coming in number 4, and Jeremy Williams comes in at number 5 to finish off the tight 5. Coming in number 6 for the French, Anthony Gelonc. Coming number 6, we got Charles Olivon, number 7, and Gregory Aldridge, number 8. A really, really, really strong, loose forward setup for the French team. For the Wallabies, we've got Tom Hooper back at blindside flanker at number 6. Fraser McRae, open side flanker at number 7. And Harry Wilson, really strong finish off at number 8. Some people were saying that Wilson looked tired. I just think that he needs to... Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I really don't think that being tired is the reason. I do think that, the expectations are not set up correctly behind the scenes for the players I think it's a culture thing, not because people are tired. Coming in number 9, Maxime Luku I thought it was pretty average last week, to be honest, for the French. Number 10, Romain Ntamak to finish off the 9-10 combo. Also, I thought it was a bit average last week as well against Fiji. Jay Gordon comes in number 9 for the Wallabies. Carter Gordon gets caught in at number 10. And no James O'Connor again. So I really thought if they just be consistent and have James O'Connor at 10, we're going to be fine. But again, is Carter Gordon going to be able to kick? Or are we going to see, I don't know, Jay Gordon take the penalties? What's going to happen? It's Carter Gordon. It looks like we don't have another kicker. So Carter Gordon must be able to kick, right? His leg injury must be okay. But yeah, a lot of you guys were saying that Carter Gordon actually did better than Edmund when it comes to the running game. But yeah, Anyway, at least they're building towards the future. Okay, moving on. Louis Bielbieri comes in at number 11 for the French. Dylan Peach returns for the Wallabies at number 11, who's been outstanding so far this year. Gael Fuku comes back at number 12 for the French. He wasn't playing last week. And we got Nicolas Deporte, played pretty good, I think, against the Fijian. One of the better players that was out there for the French last week. Len Ikitau returns to number 12 once again this week. At number 13, Joseph Akusu Swali'i finish off the center combination for the Wallabies. Coming number 14, Damien Panold, probably the best winger in the world right now. I'm sorry, South Africans, but I do think that he is, in terms of speed and the kicking game and the ability to recover the ball, just slightly ahead of some of the Springbok options. Harry Porter comes back at number 14 for the Wallabies, and finally, Thomas Ramos finish off the number 15 for the French, and Max Jorgensen retains the number 15 jersey for the Wallabies. Honestly, I really think that, the Swali'i didn't really get much ball against the Irish. I really felt like they should just put him at 12, to be honest, and have Ikitau play where he normally plays in Super Rugby at number 13. But yeah, let me know your thoughts behind that little bit of a idea there. For the reserves now, we got Maxime Lamoth, number 16 for French. Rodrigo Netti, number 17, and Thomas Lakiat comes in number 18. For the Wallabies, we got Matt Fazela, number 16. Aiden Ross, former All Black, number 17. And we got Alan Alatoa, finishing off number 18. Romain Taufevinua moves down to the bench, number 19. Hugo Arodal comes in number 20. Rob Valentini coming off the bench for the Wallabies, number 19. And Carlo Tazzano, number 20. So there's a clear emphasis to finish strong for the Wallabies. Hopefully we see that this week and not having, Rob Valentini coming on for 10 minutes, because that would just be, defeat the purpose of having him on the bench at number 19, right? We got Oscar Jegu comes in number 20 for the bomb squad set. I'm pretty sure he's a forward. Jegu comes in. Let's just see. I'm pretty sure he's a forward. Yeah, he's a back row. Will be coming off the bomb squad 6-2 setup for the French. Kalani Thomas is the number 9 for the Wallabies, coming number 21 from the Reds. This will be his debut for the Wallabies. I think he played in the Wallaby 15. Yeah, definitely not played for the Wallabies yet. Number 22, Baptiste Genot for the French, and number 23, Calvin Gorget finishing for the French. For the Wallabies, Tate Netmick will be coming to the bench at number 22, and Filippo Dalgunu finishing off at number 23. Boy, I am struggling today, so yeah, my thoughts, I really hope the Wallabies will win this one, even just by one. So I'm just going to go 21 points to 20. Okay, but I really don't think that's going to happen with, seriously, if Carter Gordon cannot kick because he's carrying a leg injury, I'm going to lose my mind on the review. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. And finally, we've got the last big match of the week. The original rivalry, the All Blacks versus Wales in Cardiff. Did you guys know that the first time the All Blacks ever lost in the inaugural original All Blacks game was against Wales in a pretty controversial referee? So, yeah, we'll have to see if that's going to happen this weekend with Holly Davis on the field, but it is going to be a monumental occasion. Again, the Welsh coming back, really clinching that win against Japan would have instilled a lot of confidence to the players, and All Blacks really a bit down and out at the moment after the Irish game. They just really fallen off a bit of a cliff against the what do you call it? Against the what is it? Against the French? Against English. Sorry, they're not playing French. Against the English last week. But yeah, it's just one game, and it was really, I thought they did pretty good against the Scottish, but English really appeared to be another level ahead of the New Zealand. So, but hey, lots of chop and changes with both teams, and Wales, I think, if they can bring out, the level of urgency that they showed against the against, I think, the Irish. Let's have a look at the games. Against the Irish, there was, against the Irish, if they showed that urgency against the Irish, they actually might pull up, a close one here against the All Blacks. They do have a lot of injuries there as well for the Wales, so yeah, I don't think they will be too much of a threat unless the All Blacks somehow really choke on this one. Holly Davison is going to be the referee. She's been actually quite good overall, in my opinion. And then finally, just the overall, it's going to be one-sided affair. Maybe history will turn for the Welsh this weekend. But there's one more thing I really want to look at. Oh yeah, the weather is going to be irrelevant because it's going to be under the roof regardless. But but let's have a look at the players that's going to be playing in this occasion. So coming in for the Welsh, number 1, Rhys Kerr, Lewis Lake coming number 2, and Kieran Asarati comes in at number 3. For the All Blacks, they have changed they basically shifted the bench to the starting positions. Tamani Williams coming number 1, Somasani Taukeiaho number 2, and Basilio Tosi finish off the first 3 for the All Blacks. Daffy Jenkins comes in at number 4 for the Welsh, and Adam Beard comes back at number 5. For the All Blacks, Scooter comes in number 4, Scotty Barrett, and Fabling Holland returns from a bit of injury at number 5. Coming number 6, Alex Mann for Wales. Harry Davis comes in at number 7, and then Aaron Wainwright finish off at number 8. For the All Blacks, Simon Parker returns number 6 jersey. Duplessis Karefi moves off the bench to start at number 7, ahead of Adi Savea, and finally Wallace Titi gets moved up to number 8 as well, with Peter Lakai suffering a bit of injury to be coming up off the, moved up from the bench as well. Obviously the what's his name? The captain for the Welsh is injured. What's his name? Anyway, So Wales do have a couple of pretty big injuries in the team as well. In what's his name? God, the only Welsh player that played the Lions tour. My God, I can't think. I'm getting too tired. Let's move on. Thomas Williams will be probably the most crucial player that's going to spice things up for the backline in the Welsh side. He's been the veteran. He's been really, really crucial for in terms of finding that options around space around the ruck. for the Wales in the Six Nations. So we'll have to see if it's going to be able to exploit that a little bit against the All Blacks. Cordes Ratama, on the other hand, I thought was really lackluster last week, really slow. So Williams definitely has a bit of an edge here over his opposition number. Dan Edwards comes in number 10 for the Welsh. Damien McKenzie moving up from the bench in the number 10. So DMAC definitely has a big advantage here, an opportunity to show his capabilities for all to see. Tom Rogers comes to number 11 for Wales, and Caleb Clark returns from injury at number 11. Joe Hawkins, number 12 for Wales, and Max Llewellyn finish off the center combination at 13. Anton Leonard-Brown this might be his first start of the season, coming number 12. And then Rieko Ioane returns to number 13. I think he played a little bit in like the first test against the Springboks, maybe in July against against the French, but he hasn't really played. Oh my god, I really don't feel good. But anyway, let's get this done. Louis Rees-Zammit coming number 14. I thought he was pretty average, to be honest, last week. There was a field opportunity. I thought he made a break. I thought he could have passed, and he didn't really link up with his players. I thought definitely a little bit out of it in terms of his rugby capabilities, and also I didn't see any of that kick and chase ability from Rees-Zammit like we saw in the past. Rees-Zammit has really not really performed to my expectations, at least so far, based on what we've seen in the past from him. Will Jordan gets moved to 14 for the Wallabies, for the All Blacks, and finally Blair Murray finish off at number 15 for the Welsh, and Ruben Love gets called in at number 15 from the Hurricanes. I thought Ruben Love may be tried at 10 at some point, but we'll have to wait and see for that. Brody Collin comes in number 16, Gareth Thomas number 17, and Archie Griffin number 18 for the Welsh. George Bell gets called in at number 16 from a pretty outstanding season with Canterbury. Fletcher Newell comes in number 17, and then George Bauer finishing off another Crusader at number 18. Freddie Thomas comes in number 19, and Tang Plumtree comes in number 20. Josh Lord number 19, and one of my favorite players, Christian Leawilli from the Crusaders, comes in at number 20. Apparently he's a dentist. Believe it or not, Leawilli is actually a dentist, and I always look forward to see him play, and I really felt like he probably should started at some point for the All Blacks, given opportunity, a bit more opportunity for the All Blacks from the bench. Kieran Hardy comes in number 21 for Wales. Finlay Christie number 21 for the All Blacks. I'm again surprised I don't see Preston here. Jared Evans, the kicking goal winner for the Welsh, comes in number 22. Leicester Fainga-Anuku comes in number 22 for the All Blacks. And finally, Nick Tompkins will be coming back as a centre option at number 23. Sever Reese will be coming off as an extra winger at number 23 for the All Blacks. Yeah, so without a number 10 on the bench, there might be an opportunity for Ruben Love to move to 10 at some point in the game. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see if they're going to shuffle things around. Maybe like have Ruben Love play 10, and then Damien McKenzie can drop to fullback, maybe late in the second half to see how that looks. But it'll be interesting to see this one. So I do think that the All Blacks will win this one quite comfortably against the Welsh. But hey, everybody knows I live in Wales, the most beautiful part of Wales, New South Wales. So I hope that the Welsh put up a big resistance and don't get blown away by too much. So yeah, maybe 41 points to 20 to the All Blacks over the Welsh. So let me know your thoughts for this one, guys. And finally, England versus Argentina. The teams hasn't been announced. The English team was announced. There was, Ollie Lawrence was out at center, but overall, pretty similar selections from the English against the All Blacks. And obviously, the Los Pumas had a massive comeback win against the Scots. So yeah, this is going to be a big question mark on how either team is going to perform. I do think the English has a bit of an edge, especially if if George Ford start kicking those 40-meter drop goals, and the Los Pumas starting getting PTSD, right? Anyway, it's starting getting that nightmare back from the Rugby World Cup where George Ford kicking a bunch of penalty goals, a bunch of drop goals. So Los Pumas probably having Carreras practice those drop goals throughout the week. I have no doubt we're going to see at least one this week from the Los Pumas just to give it a bit of a jab back at England. But I do think that England's probably, most likely going to win this one. Fingers crossed for the Los Pumas. I think England will win this one 18 points to 12. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe, guys. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys for the reviews this weekend. And have a good one. Hopefully, you are okay. Thanks for watching. Cheers.